Well, here I am making some decisions. I pulled into my California State campground and was greeted by a ranger. As you all know from the start of my videos, I have a lot of food. Most of it is sealed. You know, I got canned goods, but I got crackers and peanut butter and stuff like that that's packed in my storage within my truck. First question I was greeted by the ranger was, am I living out of my truck? And I said, sort of, because I'm, on an extended trip. She said, well, our whole setup is really for camping. And I said, well, I'll just need a few nights to sleep in the back of my truck. It's my way of camping. Well, all your food has got to go into a bear box. And she looked in the back of my truck, which I had open, and saw my, storage containers and everything like that. And I just could tell that this conversation was going downhill rapidly. Now, I understand the bear situation. Mammoth has always had this situation with their bears where they absolutely treat them like humans in a lot of cases. Sometimes people in the high Sierras will allow bears to actually hibernate under their porches and things like that. I get it. But I also come from bear country. We have a family place we've had in Colorado. My exposure with my parents' house in Prescott, Arizona, a lot of exposure to bears. But our attitude has always been that have the bears have a fear of humans and have them maintain their distance. And, she was telling me about the bears will come through the campsite, check everything out. The more I thought about it, I figured that this was not going to be a good fit for me. I could unpack everything and probably squeeze into the bear boxes. They're pretty good size. But the whole attitude was, she was treating bears better than humans. And I kind of somewhat understand that. But, for my photography where I just wanted to have a base of operations that come and go, I decided that just to heck with it. I'm going to go to the Motel 6, take my truck, spend the money, and not deal with this ranger that really had an attitude. So I'm not going to mention which campground, which ranger, but I do want to mention that male black bears, particularly the boar black bears, after they're about 6 or 7 years old, can become predatory. And you don't want to have them too comfortable around humans. And I get Mammoth Lakes. I just know about the tragedy of Victor the bear and all that. But on the other hand, in our properties, we never wanted to have the bears feel comfortable enough where they could approach and break into our houses. And so there is a balance there. I'm not sure what it is.
Well, David Montano told me he will never forget that Friday morning. He was woken up by a neighbor pounding on his door, urging him to grab his rifle because of a bear attack.
He was one of the neighbors that said, hey, the bear's got Steven, grab your gun.
David Montano ran at least 50 yards to help his neighbor, 66-year-old Steven Jackson, from this massive black bear. The 35-year-old drew his rifle and shot the predator twice. What did it feel like to be in that situation?
Honestly, pretty numb. It all happened so fast. It was an instance of, okay, I want to do everything I can to try to save his life. And it was 100% focused on just trying to save his life and spare him. Unfortunately, that's not the outcome that happened.
Montano says he was able to shoot under pressure from his experience and his work with the government. He wishes his neighbor, his friend next door of 4 years, was still alive, Steven Jackson. Right now, there are no pictures to put to the name, a man who was living in a campsite near Montano as he was building his own home.
We lost a family member of this mountain. We lost somebody that was close to us in our community. We lost an expert in wilderness, in survival, in construction. He knew so much. And the biggest emotional piece right now is that we've lost something up on top of this mountain, and it's going to take time for us to get that back, and we just don't know how long.
Wildlife officials now know through several tests that the 365-pound bear did not have any disease, and was by all accounts completely healthy. In fact, weighed more than the average black male bear in Arizona.
I can't really address why the bear attacked. I did not find anything unusual about this bear.
Arizona Game and Fish officials also say that if there is any silver lining to that horrific day, it's that Montano put down the bear after that vicious attack.
We have to protect ourselves, we have to protect our community and our loved ones and our families and friends. And by taking down the bear, that's exactly what I did.
And David told me that Stephen Jackson's family came into town from Michigan and expressed their eternal gratitude to everybody here who tried to stop that bear attack. For now, I'm near Prescott. David Caltabiano for Arizona's Family.
I also am embarrassed to say I had talked about getting up real early in Bishop and going out and doing some more early morning landscape photography. Well, I was so enthralled with the moonlit night the night before and the beautiful photos I was getting with the moonlight that I didn't get back to my hotel room till really late. And then my neighbors were still up. Apparently when you have mule days, it's an excuse to drink like a mule. So I finally gave up getting up early. Besides that, the hotel was booked. No early, no late checkouts. They only, had the 10 a.m. checkout. So if I had to get up really early, go do something, I still had to be back and have all my gear out of the room by 10 a.m. So I just said to heck with it. Then I drove up the road to Mammoth Lakes. And, I just really big tired, frustrated. I didn't want to deal with a ranger with a chip on her shoulder. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Maybe I have a chip on my shoulder, but I figured that I didn't even want to mention the fact that I had bear spray with me or other means of protecting myself against a bear attack. God help you if a bear got into your vehicle and was attacking you and you shot it. That's a whole other story.
0 votes.
This is a fucking joke, right?
Oh my god.
He's
Cody.
making her a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Cody's a dog.